Good afternoon, children. Today we are studying class 10, chapter 2nd, sectors of the Indian economy. That is from economics second chapter. So when you look at these pictures, you will find that people are engaged in various economic activities. Some of these are activities producing goods, some others are producing services. These activities are happening around us every minute, even as we speak. Now I am speaking to you in this time also, these kinds of economic activities that is going on. How do we understand these activities? One way of doing this is to group them. You can see we can classify them into three using some of the important criterion. Using some of these important criterion, these groups are also called sectors. These group we can call it as sectors. We can group into three. Let us discuss. So these activities we can call it as sectors. These activities we can group and call it as sectors. So you know that first of all, try to understand what are the economic activities. These people are engaged in various economic activities. Now we want to know about economic activities. What are economic activities? Economic activities, what is in examination may ask what is meant by economic activity. That time you can write that economic activities or the activities that result in the production of goods and services and add value to the income, national income. Which income? National income are called economic activities. Once again I will tell, the activities that result in the production of goods and services and add value to the national income are called economic activities. In simply I will explain very in a simple manner that these people are engaged in different economic activities. They may be primary sector, secondary sector or tertiary sector. They are engaged in these kinds of economic activities. While engaging in these economic activities, they produce two things. One is goods, another thing is services. When they produce these goods and services, that will be added to our national income, are called economic activities. So let us discuss about primary activities. First of all, there are three types of activities. There are three kinds of activities. That is in the sectors we can divide economic sector. We can divide into three: primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Once again I will explain. Economic activities we can divide into three sectors: primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. What is primary sector? Prime, the word, while hearing itself you can understand that first or base. We can say that is primary sector. We produce goods. In this picture you can see this is agriculture and allied occupation. Allied here means related occupation, that is called primary occupation. These primary occupations we produce goods by exploiting the natural resources. You can see in this picture, these are all natural resources. These are all we are getting from the nature itself. It's an activity. We produce goods by exploiting natural resources is an activity of the primary sector. Once again I will explain. We produce goods by exploiting the natural resources is an activity of the primary sector. Examples you can see that in the primary sector. Example, agriculture, dairy. In this picture you can see that agriculture, dairy, fishing, forestry. These are all together we can call it as agriculture and allied sector, or we can say related sector. That is primary sector. Once again we can explain or we can understand about the primary sector. We produce goods by exploiting the natural resources. By exploiting natural resources is an activity of the primary sector. Example, agriculture, dairy, fishing, forestry. These are all related to agriculture. So agriculture and allied sector we can call it as primary sector. I hope that you understood about primary sector. Next we want to study about secondary sector. Secondary sector, primary sector we can call it as agriculture sector. Otherwise we can call it as agriculture sector. Next we want to know about the secondary sector. Secondary sector, that is the, you know that the first sector, primary sector, that is agriculture and allied sector, that is related to natural products. These natural products that changed into other forms through industries, that is secondary sector. That so that we can say the second sector as industrial sector. I hope that you understood. The primary sector that are all natural, or we can say that from nature, or we can say that these are all natural resources, or we can say that agriculture and allied sector. The allied agriculture and other related products that can be changed in the industries, that sector we can call it as secondary sector, or otherwise called industrial sector, that produces manufactured goods. These produce manufactured goods. Industries, there are examples of secondary sector, that is spinning machine, then there are different kind of spinning machine, fabrication, then car manufacturing, different examples are there. Anyway, secondary sector is that we can call it as industrial sector. Next, the third one, economic activities, we can divide into primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Economic activities, we can say that it is divided into three: primary, then secondary, then tertiary. So secondary sector we can call it as industrial sector. Next one is tertiary sector. Tertiary sector we can call it as service sector. This helps to develop other sectors. Actually, tertiary sector, we can call it as service sector. The activities generate service rather than goods. The activities that generate service rather than goods. And the tertiary sector is otherwise called the service sector. You can see the tertiary sector we can call it as service sector. Best example: teachers, doctors, lawyers, account, internet, ATM booth, software, etc. These are all service sectors or tertiary sector. These are all tertiary sector. Once again, we can explain about our economic activities. There are different kinds of definition given to economic activities. Reich had given the definition about economic activities, that economic activity is the production, distribution and consumption of commodities. That is his definition. Another definition given by Corner: any economic activities involving the production, distribution and consumption of commodities depending on the level of generality. That is another